I'd always been very, very devout as a Muslim. And even though my family weren't particularly religious, I had this deep feeling of this closeness with God. And I would say that was from a very early age, maybe 5 or 6. I remember just always thinking deeply about where is God? Not who is God, but where is he? And anyway, you go through life, through school, you grow up. But even when I got into my teenage years, I just always felt this deep desire to find God. And one day, this friend of mine saw an advert in paper. It was actually in Slough, and it was, Raj Yoga meditation. So she went along to the address and she took her bottle of water and her yoga mat. And when she went in, she noticed that didn't see anyone else with a yoga mat, and she was thinking, when are the yoga exercises going to begin? And she very quickly realized that this wasn't what she thought, because they were speaking about the soul and peace and getting to know yourself. And she came away and she came to me and she said, "Oh, I went to this place, and it wasn't what I thought, but guess what? I think you'd like it." And at that time, I was really soul searching and in my faith, in Islam, and I would still call myself a Muslim, because it is the religion of peace. But I said to her, "Well, I hope it's not another religion because I'm already searching here." And she said, "No, no, no, it's not a religion. You'll like it." So anyway, I went along with her to the house, and as soon as I walk in, on the wall, and there's a big picture of, and in Hinduism, those of you know will know, a beautiful picture of Lakshmi and Narayan, God and Goddess. Now, of course, you may or may not know, but as a Muslim, that is that's, oh, pictures. We don't have pictures in mosques, and we see God as bodiless and as light. So I remember thinking, oh, I'll speak to her when I get back, because I said to her, "Don't take me to a place that's a religion." And I thought, well, I'm here now, so I'm going to stay politely. And I already decided inside that I won't be coming back. Anyway, the teacher of Raj Yoga at that time, who actually went on to be my spiritual guide, and a lot of love for her. She's now passed on. So she was sharing things, and inside, I'm just listening politely. And then she said, "Okay, let's have some meditation." Well, obviously, I didn't know what meditation was. Just sat down, cross-legged on the floor, closed my eyes. And you know what? I cannot remember what she said, whether there's any music playing, whether she spoke any words, but that first experience, all I could feel was a warm red glow, like the sun shining on my face. And I felt this love absolutely showering down on me. And when I opened my eyes, I was completely changed in that first experience. I didn't know what had happened, but what I did know was I recognized that the God I was looking for was here. So now I would share with you the core values of the practice of the Brahma Kumaris. And actually, it was actually this that I had, without realizing, been searching for. I know that within the practice of my faith, I was very much at peace, but something was telling me that there was something else I knew. I kept thinking, I know something, there's something else. And I just felt that there had to be something that connected all of humanity. And I wasn't seeing that in the world. And when I came to the Brahma Kumaris and learned that actually, in essence, each and every one of us at the core is a being of energy, a soul, whether you call that Atma, Ruh, soul, language doesn't matter, but the core values of each and every human soul is one of peace, love, joy, purity, wisdom, bliss. Every single human soul is that. And when I realized that all I need to do is live by that truth of my innate qualities, the values of compassion, mercy, a spiritual vision, kindness, all the things we talk about, sweetness, practicing tolerance. These are some of the powers that come with meditation. So at the core, it's always to be aware of my true nature, which is that I'm a being of light, a soul that sits deep in the brain, in the center of the forehead. It cannot be seen. I'm absolutely infinitesimal, even smaller than an atom. And actually, the soul is neither male nor female. These are identities we take on. Then as soon as I come into the body, then I begin to identify, but they are not actually who I am. And coming to the Brahma Kumaris, you learn to strip away, like taking off layers. You strip away from I am male, female, Muslim, Christian, atheist, black, white, educated, not educated, and I get back to that core awareness of my true qualities. This practice with the Brahma Kumaris has changed the meaning of my life and also the direction of my life. It's changed absolutely everything. Before, I actually remember as a child, I used to be lying in bed at night and staying awake and saying, God, just come down and take me away with you. And I literally used to wait for a spaceship to land in the garden. And if it did, I was going to step on it and just go. Because inside, I always had this feeling that I wanted to go home. I didn't know what I meant by that, but I just knew that this world wasn't my home. And when I got this knowledge and realized that, yes, I can go back home and I will go back home one day with the divine light, will take us all back home one day. But there is something I need to do before I go. And that changed everything. I used to think, oh, if I find God, that's it. I'll just go and that's all I need to do. But no, we all have to purify ourselves. We all have to help put this world right. And that's the meaning of my life now. The meaning of my life is to bring this joy and joy of recognition of who I am and who I belong to others, to liberate people, to help people become free from their sorrow and suffering. Often it's not the sorrow and suffering that's the issue. It's not understanding why things are happening. And when I came to the Brahma Kumaris and I learned about the philosophy of karma and how I can actually change my destiny, how I can actually become free of past regrets and things, that really has become the meaning of my life, to learn to live my life liberated, in a natural state of peace and happiness whilst I'm interacting with everybody, but then also to uplift others. But most importantly, to help people find themselves, their true self, to link at the heart of who they are and to connect with the divine source and take that love and support which is there. The main benefits I've personally gained from my religious practice with the Brahma Kumaris, they are immense. And I would say the main benefit is being able to know myself and respect myself and stay in my self-worth. That was something that I found challenging before. I was always looking to other people or other opinions. I never really had that confidence in myself. So the main benefit has been knowing myself and also knowing how God sees me and seeing myself through his eyes and not through the eyes of other people, opinions, whether they're good or bad, but to be able actually to live quite, to not have a roller coaster of emotions. I think that's huge. Is a great benefit of meditation with the Brahma Kumaris. You do become quite stable in yourself and you're not up and down so much. I also benefited by becoming vegetarian, which I wasn't before. And I have to say that everything in the Brahma Kumaris that we practice is something that is suggested to you, and then you decide. We usually say, look, try something for 10 days. For example, I was never a morning person. And when I heard our spiritual class is actually at 6 a.m. in the morning, I thought, oh, I don't know if this is going to work for me. But I tried it. And when I tried it, I saw the benefits of that pure vibration of the early morning hours, the ability to assimilate knowledge and have that connection with the divine, without the interference of the start of the day when everybody's getting up and thinking and causing all of that traffic. Another practice we have is something called traffic control. And traffic control is great because it's like exercising. If you don't use your muscles, as they say, you use it or lose it. So to exercise the mind, to discipline the mind, to just stop. Whenever you can, once an hour if you can, just to down tools, stop, go within. Balance yourself, center yourself, take a deep breath, remind yourself of who you really are, a being of peace, child of God, and then come back out and carry on with your activity. That practice is huge. It helps you not to get too taken in by, your roles and responsibilities and get panicked, but just come back. So that practice has been wonderful. But I think the biggest thing is my vision now for everybody and the world has changed. Everyone is my brother's soul. Everyone is a child of God. We're all innately the same. There is no difference. So the increase in love and compassion for all, and understanding that this world is going through transformation. That I didn't know before. This world is going through transformation. We are transitioning from, this sorrow and the deep night of ignorance and suffering. But the good news is that it is now time, firstly, to go home, back to our home. But before that, I need to cleanse myself. I need to settle all my karmic accounts. And that can only happen with knowledge of the self and to connect with the divine source. To become a member of the Brahma Kumaris is open to everyone. Our full title, actually, our full name is Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University. And it is really quite sweet to see that those who study here can be as young as 3 or 4 with their parents, up to 90 and even more than 90 years old. And this is a spiritual university. All you need to do is just give yourself time to learn about yourself, who you are innately, learn about why you're here, learn about what is my connection with the divine source, and begin to live by that truth. And really, honestly, that is it. Yes, of course, we have disciplines like any other faith has, but again, that's something like I took up, for example, becoming a vegetarian, waking up early in the morning. These are all choices then that you would make on your own personal journey.